I'll tell you about music, Gary. Music is good.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Ocracoke Music Sampler. This is your host, Gary Mitchell, from the band Molasses Creek. On this show, we'll be featuring music that was recorded right here on Ocracoke Island. Some folks you might know, but probably some surprises, too. I hope you enjoy it. Well, I have a special treat for you this week. I came across a recording that we did in 2004 of our very first Christmas show at Deepwater Theater, and it is something special, so let's get to it right now.
Well, thank everybody so much for coming tonight. We're really excited to be doing this, and we've been talking about doing a Christmas show for years now, and we're finally doing one. So, Dave, who are we going to have up first here?
I believe Cheryl Roberts and Jamie Tunnell are going to join us up here.
That was Jamie Tunnell on the keyboard and Cheryl Roberts and Dave Tweedy on violins.
Oh. I was wondering what was going on. Well, here's a little song called Christmas Lullaby that we got from a friend, Mr. Michael Stanwood, who is from Colorado and comes out and joins us at the Ocracoke Festival occasionally. So. By the fireside, family and friends arrive, bringing all the warm and simple gifts of life. This is a lullaby for Christmas night. Snow on a quiet street lays like a child asleep on a bed of love and peace and dreams of white. This is a lullaby for Christmas night. So hold your dreams and keep. We have a dream to keep, a dream that people everywhere can have the kind of love we share tonight. dream that people everywhere can have the kind of love we share tonight. Cloud in a crystal sky shines in the tiny eye of a child who's still awake with all his might. This is a lullaby for Christmas night.
Thank you, Jim. My father-in-law, Mr. Philip Howard.
Good evening. I don't usually do this, but tonight I want to dedicate this story to someone who's in the audience. She's my neighbor, my friend, and my cousin. She knows more about Ocracoke history and stories and genealogy, and I think she's probably hiding over here. But she also celebrated a birthday on Wednesday, so I'd like to recognize Blanche Howard Jolliffe. She's told me more than anybody else. If you have a moment to visit with Blanche, take it. She's just a wealth of Ocracoke information. The very first Coast Guard or life-saving station that was established on Ocracoke Island was built in 1883, but it was built at the north end of Ocracoke to serve Hatteras Inlet. In 1915, the U.S. Life-Saving Service merged with the Revenue Cutter Service to form the United States Coast Guard, and 2 years after that, in 1917, they dismantled the old building and built a brand new Coast Guard station at Hatteras Inlet. It lasted until the early 1950s when the sea began encroaching on the property. Eventually, the station was decommissioned, and then in the summer of 1955, after a series of hurricanes, Hurricane Ione finally undermined the foundation of that station, and it collapsed into the Atlantic Ocean. The only thing that's left of that station today are a series of pilings that run out from the north shore of Ocracoke at Hatteras Inlet. In 1883, when the station was built, my great-grandfather, James W. Howard, was appointed keeper of that station, and he held that position until he retired in 1903. In those days, it was much different down there. There were approximately 6 surfmen assigned to that station, and they had built little modest homes on a little high ridge of cedars and yopons and myrtle trees. They called it Cedar Hammock. But because they were stationed down there for many months at a time through the entire hurricane season and on through the winter, they generally brought their families down. In December of 1899, there were probably 6 families down there, the Howards, the Simpsons, the Williamses, and the McWilliamses, among some others. There were 12 adults and about 15 children living down there. And the adults had contracted with a schoolmaster on the mainland to come over and teach those children reading, writing, and arithmetic. But it was the Christmas season. In fact, the story that starts on December 23rd of 1899. And the schoolmaster had gone back to the mainland, and it meant that the children had time to play and do some other things. Some of the children had gone out into the Sound in their sailing skiff. Some of the boys had ridden their ponies down the beach to look for whatever might have washed up. Martha Ann Wahab's 2 daughters were playing in the parlor because she had expressly forbidden them to come into the kitchen that day, for she was baking Christmas pies. Several hours later, her husband, James Hatton Wahab, walked through the kitchen and said, "Martha Ann, what in the world are you baking all of these Christmas pies for?" They were going to get together as a community for Christmas, but she was baking so many pies. She said, "Well, you never know who might come visiting from overseas," which was a little odd at the north end of Ocracoke in 1899, but she was thinking ahead that somebody might come visiting from overseas. Towards afternoon, the sky started turning stormy and the wind was picking up. The boys came in from their sail skiff. The boys, though, on their ponies came back. And everybody was watching the weather as the storm clouds rolled in, the wind picked up, the tide got stronger, and it began to rain. By 8 o'clock that evening, all of the children had been tucked away in bed. But nobody at Cedar Hammock realized the drama that was unfolding out in the Atlantic Ocean. For at that very same moment, the 2,265-ton, steel-hulled, schooner-rigged British steamboat, the Ariosto, was moving north along the southern Outer Banks. Just before midnight, the navigator spied a light on his port side, and he and the captain conferred and decided that that must be Cape Hatteras Light. It was the first fatal mistake they made that night, for the light was actually Ocracoke Lighthouse. But the captain, thinking he was far out to sea, told the helmsman to continue on the same course, which was due north. So instead of heading out into the ocean, they were headed directly to the north beach of Ocracoke Island. The captain went back to his cabin and went to bed, but he was awakened early in the morning by the ringing of the ship's bell. When he got to the deck and looked around him, they were completely surrounded by whitewater. They immediately sent off a red flare, the international signal of a ship in distress. But the captain was convinced that he was ashore on the outer Diamond Shoals, too far for any life-saving crew to get to them in this raging ocean storm. And so he made the second fatal mistake of the evening, and he decided to abandon ship. What he didn't know was that Keeper Howard and his crew had seen the distress signal, and they were already on their way to rescue the survivors from the Ariosto. They could even see the top of the mast through the mist and the haze. But the captain and his crew had no idea that the life-saving crew was on their way. There were 30 people on the boat, including the captain, but there were 2 lifeboats. Immediately, 15 of the sailors got into the first lifeboat. They lowered it overboard. As soon as it hit the water, it capsized and threw all the men out into the icy December Atlantic Ocean. At the same time, 11 of the other crew members had climbed into the second lifeboat, but before they could even get the rest of the crew in the boat or drop it overboard, a wave crashed against the boat and splintered the lifeboat, and all 11 of those sailors fell into the ocean as well. There were 2 lines hanging over the side of the boat, and 2 of the crew members were able to grab a hold of those lines, and the 4 crew members, including the captain who were still on the deck, were able to haul them up to safety. By this time, the life-saving crew had gotten abreast of the boat. It was very difficult because the tide was rushing in, the sand was mucky and wet. They tried to set the sand anchor for their beach apparatus. Eventually, they got everything set up when they discovered one of the sailors had actually miraculously swum all the way to shore, and that was the first time they realized that there were men in the water. They were actually able to save 2 more of the sailors who were caught in the raging surf. They set the life gear up, shot the Lyle gun, shot a line out to the ship with a Lyle gun, were able to set up the breeches buoy, and successfully rescued all 6 crew members who were still on board the Ariosto. As it turned out, 9 people survived that wreck, and 21 people died on Christmas Eve, 1899. The 8 crew members, the ordinary seamen, were taken back to the station, given warm clothes and something to eat, and given bunks in the station. Captain Baines was actually taken to Keeper Howard and his wife's home. He was put up there, given warm clothes and something to eat. The next day, Christmas Day, most of the activity was involved burying the bodies that had washed up on the beach. But still, it was Christmas Day, and the community had decided to join together for Christmas dinner. And of course, they asked the crew members and Captain Baines to join them for Christmas dinner. They had roast duck, mashed potatoes, collard greens, even cranberry sauce. But the highlight of the whole evening was Miss Martha Ann's Christmas pies, because she had baked enough not only for the crew and their families and their children, but for any visitors that might show up from overseas. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Well, we're excited tonight that John Golden can be here. John is a regular with our Ocracoke Festival in June, and he lives in Wilmington and does a lot of performing around this region, and he's got a Christmas song for us. John Golden.
Thank you, Gary. And if some folks just came in, there's some chairs down here in front, and it won't bother me at all if you come on down. Well, just imagine now that you're out caroling, and it's a cold night, not like tonight, okay? And you're going to get to enjoy what we're going to sing about here a little bit later, because they brought the goodies over from, and I helped, I know, the good wassail, I guess they call it, and the cider, and also the goodies. And if you were out caroling, that's what you would hope to inspire the folks inside those warm houses to reward you with, okay? This song is called a souling, and it's called that because there's a little cake in England called a soul cake, kind of like a little scone or a tea cake. And you would get something warm to drink, and you'd get this little soul cake if you did a good job caroling, okay? So do a good job. Hey ho, nobody home, eat nor drink nor money have I none, yet shall we be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, hey ho, nobody home. Soul, a soul, a soul cake, please good Mrs. a soul cake. Apple, a pear, plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him who made us all. That's your part. God bless the master of this house and the mistress also. All the little children that around your table go. The cattle in your stable, the dog by your front door. All that dwell within your gates, we wish you 10 times more. Soul, a soul, a soul cake, please good Mrs. a soul cake. Apple, a pear, plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him who made us all. That sounds good. Y'all can sound good singing. Go down into your cellar and see what you can find. If the barrels are not empty, we hope you will be kind. We hope you will be kind with your apple and strawberry, or will come no more a soulin' till this time next year. Soul, a soul, a soul cake, please good Mrs. a soul cake. Apple, a pear, plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him who made us all. The streets are very dirty, my shoes are very thin. I have a little pocket to put a penny in. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. Soul, soul, a soul cake, please good Mrs. a soul cake. Apple, a pear, plum, a cherry, any good thing to make us all merry. One for Peter, two for Paul, three for him who made us all. Hey ho, nobody home, meat nor drink nor money have I none, yet shall we be merry. Hey ho, nobody home, hey ho, nobody home. Thank you for singing. And our next singers are a duo, Marcy Brenner and Lou Castro. They're going to be joined by Molasses Creek, I understand, for a kind of a combined group song, and they are Coyote. You know them well as Coyote. Marcy and Lou.
Merry Christmas. It's very warm. It doesn't feel like Christmas.
Sure doesn't.
You could have made some snow or something out there, Gary.
Next year. Well, we're going to do one of our favorite songs. I hope you like it.
It's called Oh Holy Night.
1, 2, 3.
brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night divine. The thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks the new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born, oh, night divine, oh, night, oh, night
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Well, that was fun. Well, let's see what's next. Oh, we're going to bring up Katie Mitchell and sing an old favorite for you here. Now, Katie, I have to ask you, how'd the game go?
The boys' game, we won!
The boys won? All right.
By 1 point. Suspenseful games.
That's 4 games in a row that the boys have won.
Yes, and the boys have not won in 8 years, I think.
I'm not sure.
No.
But the girls played a great game too.
And we lost by 3
And
points.
lost by 3 points, but it was a great game. Played great. They're a powerhouse.
So I played basketball, I cheered, and now I'm here to sing for you.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree. not here with me, I'll have a blue Christmas, that's certain. And when that blue heartache starts hurting, you'll be doing alright with your Christmas of white. But I'll have a blue Christmas.
Been listening to a Christmas show from Deepwater Theater that was recorded in 2004, and we'll be back with more of it in just a minute. Well, if you're just joining us, this is the Ocracoke Music Sampler, and I'm your host, Gary Mitchell. This week we're focusing on a recording that was done in 2004 of a live Christmas show at Deepwater Theater here on Ocracoke Island. Let's get back to it.
Welcome to the second half of the first Christmas show here at the Ocracoke Christmas Show. Thanks for coming, everybody. We have a special treat. We have the island's young people here sharing some music. This is Blackburn Warner. This is Aaron Caswell, this is Tristan Bennick, and Echo Bennick, and they're going to play for you this evening, What Child Is This?
We're going to hear our old friend Roy Parsons now from 2004 at Deepwater Theater.
Yeah, sure. Did you ever have a snowball fight?
Yeah.
While you were...
Yeah.
When you were growing up? How often did it snow when you were growing up?
It looked like a baseball game.
It looked like a baseball game? Did you know what to do with snowballs?
Not really till we got hit with them.
That kind of inspires you to throw them back.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the most memorable thing that you got for Christmas as a kid?
Pair of black stockings, I think.
A pair of black stockings. Were they filled with anything?
Huh?
Did they have anything in them?
Peanuts and candy.
Peanuts and candy. Did you take those out before you put them on?
No, I hit on that and ate on right out.
Anyone else have a question? What was your favorite food on Christmas?
On Christmas?
Yeah.
Well, all we had was fish.
Fish?
Sometimes we got collard greens, sometimes we didn't get nothing.
Now, did people grow the collard greens here, or did they have to bring them in from over the
no, we
mainland?
grew them here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, had collard seeds and planted them, and they come out, storm would come out, and the white ones looked like people with their hair plaited backwards.
Would they survive a flooding, or did you have to eat them pretty soon after that?
Well, we had to eat them pretty soon because they're full of salt water.
Uh-huh. But you didn't have to salt them any.
No, we didn't salt them no more.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we ain't supposed to eat salt, but I got too much of it.
Uh-huh.
Next, we have an incredible song by John McCutcheon about a true event that happened during World War I. Christmas in the Trenches.
My name is Francis Tolliver. I come from Liverpool. 2 years ago, the war was waiting for me after school. To Belgium and to Flanders, to Germany, to here. I fought for king and country I loved dear. 'Twas Christmas in the trenches, where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas songs were sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. Their brave and glorious lads so far away. I was lying with my messmate on the cold and muddy ground, when across the lines of battle came a most peculiar sound. Says I, now listen up me boys, each soldier strained to hear, as one lone German voice rang out so clear. He's singing bloody well, you know, my partner says to me. Soon one by one each German voice joined in harmony. The big guns rested silent, the gas clouds rolled no more, as Christmas brought us respite from the war. As soon as they were finished and a reverent pause was spent, God rest you merry gentlemen, struck up some lads from Kent. The next they sang was Steely Knocked, 'Tis Silent Night, says I, and in two tongues one song filled up that sky. There's someone coming towards us, the frontline sentry cried. All sights were fixed on one lone figure trudging from their side. His truce flag like a Christmas star shone on that plain so bright, as he bravely strode unarmed into the night. Soon one by one on either side walked into no man's land. With neither gun nor bayonet, we met there hand to hand. We shared some secret brandy and wished each other well. And in a flare-lit soccer game, we gave 'em hell. We traded chocolates, cigarettes, and photographs from home. These sons and fathers far away from families of their own. Young Sanders played his squeeze box. They had a violin. This curious and unlikely band of men. Soon daylight stole upon us, and France was France once more. With sad farewells we each began to settle back to war. But the question haunted every heart that lived that wondrous night: whose family have I fixed within my sights? 'Twas Christmas in the trenches where the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were warmed as songs of peace were sung. For the walls they'd kept between us to exact the work of war had been crumbled and were gone forevermore. My name is Francis Tolliver. In Liverpool I dwell. Each Christmas come since World War I, I've learned its lessons well. That the ones who call the shots won't be among the dead and lame. And on each end on the rifle, we're the same.
Once more, we have John Golden here with I Wonder as I Wander.
I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die for poor ornery people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky. When Mary birthed Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with wise men and farmers and shepherds and all. And high from God's heaven a star's light did fall, and the promise of the ages it then did recall. If Jesus had wanted for any wee thing, a star in the sky, or a bird on the wing, or all of God's angels in heaven for to sing, he surely could have had it, for he was the King. As I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die for poor ornery people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky.
Next we have Julie Howard playing beautiful piano to the Christmas song sung by Gary Mitchell.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe will help to make this season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's bringing lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. I'm offering this simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Well, dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Faster! Whoa, the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride. Soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was leaning like misfortune seemed his lot. We got into a drifted bank and we got upside. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. What fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. In a one-horse open We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks everybody so much for coming. We've had a great time. Have a great holiday. See ya. We've got a lot of food back there you can take home with you if you want.
Also, if you can make sure and leave the books, the songbook.